Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where the only thing more sacred than the Constitution is apparently Donald Trump's autographed Bible, it's time for Ballot. The podcast that dares to ask the hard questions like, why is the ex-president selling a $60 Bible? And who stole the fancy plates from Air Force One?
Hey there, Ballot believers! We've got a jam-packed show for you today. We'll be diving into the wild world of politics, where apparently nothing is off limits, not even the good book itself. It seems like some journalists have been getting a little too cozy on Air Force One. After President Biden's visit to the U.S. West Coast in February, an inventory check revealed that several items had mysteriously vanished from the press section. We're talking branded pillowcases, glasses, and even gold-rimmed plates. But here's the thing. Taking items from the plane is a big no-no. The White House Correspondents Association had to send out an email last month to remind reporters that such behavior reflected poorly on the press pool and must stop. Apparently, this isn't a new problem. Taking items with the Air Force One logo, including cutlery and towels, has been commonplace for years, according to reports. Now, before you start pointing fingers, let's be clear. Journalists are sometimes given small packages of M&M's chocolates decorated with the presidential seal as a souvenir. That's totally acceptable. But some reporters have taken it to the next level. Take Misha Komodovsky, White House correspondent from The Voice of America, for example. He's gathered a subtle collection of items from his trips on the president's plane. "I didn't embarrass anyone or commit any wrongdoing to put this collection together," he told BBC News. As he held up a paper cup with the Air Force One logo, he simply forgot to throw away. "Sure, Misha, we believe you. But wait, there's more." Mr. Komodovsky also has a box of the presidential M&Ms with Mr. Biden's signature. "Spoiler alert, they are regular M&Ms in a nice box," he said. Well, that's a relief. We wouldn't want the president to be handing out subpar chocolate. "Did you see Trump is selling Bibles?" Jordan Klepper asked. "How does that thing not burst into flames immediately?" Klepper added, "I know people will say that you're not supposed to mix the Bible and the Constitution, but what you have to understand is Trump has never read either of them. Trump getting into business with God can only mean one thing. God is going to end up bankrupt and serving a 3-month prison sentence for lying under oath." In a scathing commentary for the Daily Beast, Jim Wallace accuses Donald Trump of idolatry and heresy for his latest venture, the Bless the USA Bible. Trump is selling this Bible for $59.99, a price higher than most Bibles, and pocketing the proceeds. The launch of this product in the middle of Holy Week has drawn sharp criticism from Wallace and other faith leaders. Wallace asserts that Trump's focus on blessing the USA contradicts Jesus' instruction to make disciples in every nation, effectively turning nationalism into a form of idolatry. He also accuses Trump of heresy, stating that the former president's MAGA movement denies the core teachings of Jesus, such as his concern for the poorest and most vulnerable, as expressed in the Sermon on the Mount and Matthew 25. Meanwhile, President Biden issued a proclamation recognizing March 31st as Transgender Day of Visibility. Seems pretty straightforward, right? Well, not if you're a Republican looking for something to be outraged about during Easter weekend. Trump's campaign accused Biden of being insensitive to religion, with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt demanding an apology to millions of Catholics and Christians across America. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, took to social media to declare that the Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter. Betrayed? Really? Did Biden put the Easter eggs in the wrong basket or something? Now let's be clear. Biden is a devout Catholic who attends Mass regularly and even got the Pope's seal of approval. But that hasn't stopped conservative Christians from getting their robes in a twist over his support for gay marriage and abortion rights. Even Caitlyn Jenner is mad at Biden, tweeting, "I am absolutely disgusted that Joe Biden has declared the most holy of holy days, a self-proclaimed devout Catholic, as Transgender Day of Visibility. The only thing you should be declaring on this day is He is risen." Meanwhile, the Bible-selling, Easter-loving Donald Trump is gearing up for a criminal trial on April 15th, where he's charged with improperly covering up hush money paid to an adult film actor. This week's event at Radio City Music Hall featured big names like Barack Obama, Stephen Colbert, and Lizzo, SNL's Michael Che shared, as well as lesser-known celebrities like President Joe Biden. Ouch. Just moments later, he referenced Biden's plans to visit the site of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, explaining that the purpose of the visit was because, like that bridge, Biden is no longer connecting with black communities. We're going to take a quick break to recharge our batteries and maybe see if we can snag some of those coveted Air Force One chocolate candies with the M on it. All right, folks, buckle up because we've got a doozy of a story from Politico that's sure to make you question everything you thought you knew about third-party politics. It all starts with a group called No Labels. They've been trying to cobble together a centrist third-party ticket for the White House, and they've got the money, the consultants, and the ballot access to prove it. The only thing they're missing? A willing candidate. No Labels has been courting everyone from Joe Manchin to Mitt Romney to Larry Hogan. But so far, no one's biting. And according to Politico, that's because No Labels is looking for political insurgents in all the wrong places. The article argues that successful political disruptors are usually flamboyant entertainers, athletes, or larger-than-life personalities with showy hairstyles and Olympian egos. Think Donald Trump, Ross Perot, or even Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. In other words, a Manchin-Romney ticket just isn't going to cut it. So who does Politico suggest No Labels should nominate instead? Brace yourselves because this is where it gets wild. Their top picks include Dave Chappelle, and drumroll please, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who played the vice president on the TV show Veep. Now, before you start drafting your Julia Louis-Dreyfus for president fan fiction, let's take a step back and consider what this says about the state of American politics. When a respected news outlet is seriously suggesting that a comedian who tells stories about hanging out with strippers and mocks marginalized groups would make a better candidate than a sitting senator, it's clear that we've entered a new era of political absurdity. But hey, who knows? Maybe Selena Meyer is exactly what this country needs to offer some continuity with change. Or maybe we should just stick to watching her on HBO and leave the real politics to the professionals. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Ballot. We've covered everything from Trump's holy hustle to Biden's proclamation predicament and Air Force One's missing inventory thrown in for good measure. As always, our goal is to bring you the most entertaining and informative takes on the week's political news, even if it means ruffling a few feathers along the way. We couldn't do it without our amazing team, including our talented writers, producers, and of course, the assistance of some cutting-edge AI technology. So until next time, keep questioning authority, keep laughing at the absurdity, and keep believing that somehow, someway, we'll make it through this crazy thing called democracy.